Hey guys, we are back with another vault video, or I guess our first vault video of the season. I was able to actually pull some pretty cool stuff this week, so stick around and figure out what I got, or don't. All right, let's go. No fucking shot. All right, that's working. Looks like we got everything going. All right, vault day, baby. Let's do this. I have 5 characters to do, so we're gonna start with the rogue, and we're gonna move our way up. And I think Rogue, Demon Hunter have 2 vault slots, 2 options for Mythic Plus. The Druid has Raid plus 3 Mythic Plus slots. Warrior has 3 Mythic Plus slots, and then Monk has some Raid and slots as well. So let's start with Rogue. There's a lot of people in my guild who have been tanking lately, as well as I've been playing with more people who enjoy the tanking role or play tanking alts because of how friendly this patch is. So I have been picking up some DPS specs. I've been playing a lot of Arms Warrior. I've been playing a lot of Rogue. I've been playing a lot of Windwalker. And I'm just trying to like figure that aspect out. Dude, they're mowing the yard so hard. This is Mike High. I haven't done a video, like webcam video in a while. Cool. Rogue is up first. Now, I typically play sub. I'm kind of a sub one trick. I haven't really touched Assassination or Outlaw. Combat? Outlaw? What's it called? Outlaw. So we're gonna just open this as sub. Not that I think it really matters, but here we go. I don't know what to expect. I'm gonna kind of just take whatever's like highest. I did a couple of like 13s or whatever. So we got a crit versus neck with haste versus shoulders. I'm currently not running shoulders at a higher item level or tier, so that actually might not be the worst option. The neck's pretty good because of the high crit, but it still has verse on it. While the shoulders are haste verse, I can eventually catalyze these into tier, which I might do. So I think I'm actually gonna take the shoulders. This wasn't too hard of a decision because most things will probably be an item level upgrade, so we will take those. I'll be honest though, Vault this time around doesn't feel as good because you have things like crafted gear, you have things like crest, so a lot of these other systems kind of have replaced the Vault in a way where it's very difficult to get BIS gear from the actual Vault. All right, let's swappity doodah. So fucking cringe. DH. The DH, similar story as the Rogue. I got like a handful of like 13s to 15s done. Did I even do a 15? I did a 16 last week. So here are the keys that I completed. Nothing too crazy. We're gonna have basically none of these are really gonna be max item level. The 16 I think is actually it might be 441, so it might not be like that bad. And I just opened for Havoc. Jesus Christ. Seal of Questionable Loyalties at 441 or Globe of Jagged Ice. I wish I realized that I was in Havoc. Not that it really mattered, but this could have been maybe a Tree Rot's Festering Splinter. Globe of Jagged Ice, I don't think it actually is that good. We'll look in a second. But the Seal of Questionable Loyalties from Freehold has a ton of haste on it, which might actually replace my Jeweled Signet of Melandris at 415. So we might end up taking this ring, but really quick, let me pull up Sub Creation. So I love this site. I've used it a ton in the past. DH is actually has had a pretty strong showing last week. But if we go to the DH page on Subcreation, we can actually look at a few different things. We can look at what rings they were running, for example. So a lot of people are actually running this Seal of Questionable Loyalties in 23. So we're seeing a 5% and then a 7% and a 5%. So a good amount of people. We also see another representation down here with Seal of Druid Chosen. We're seeing Amulet, of course, and then the other ring from Halls of Infusion that gives a ton of haste. So it's actually not a bad ring, especially for someone who, I don't have a 421 Daruna's Chosen. And yeah, I mean, it's like, it has a lot more haste than most rings have. So that's where we're going to get a lot of that stat. Now, another site that I don't think a lot of people use or know about, or at least in like the tank space, is Blood Mallet. We're going to jump over there right now once I figure out how to leave full screen. So we can go over to the site called Blood Mallets. This is a site that shows data for which trinkets and items might sim the best. So let's go to Vengeance. Now this doesn't work for healers for most. I think Restoration doesn't have one. Preservation Holy, yeah. So they mostly don't cover healers, but DPS and tanks alike, you can actually check this site out and it will actually show you all the breakdowns of which trinkets are going to be best. You actually see Globe of Jagged Ice actually being pretty good here. So it's going to perform worse than the raid trinkets, and it's going to perform worse than Dargrel plus Homeland Raid Horn. Now we could make the Dark Moon box, and then right after that is Globe of Jagged Ice. So you kind of have to weigh like, are these trinkets going to be obtainable? For my VDH, some of these raid trinkets, probably not. I just don't plan on raiding on it at all. But Mark of Dargirl and Homeland Raidhorn, both would be better, even at like a lower item level that I would just get from dungeons compared to the Globe of Jagged Ice. And the Globe of Jagged Ice from our vault here is only 431. So again, this is something that I can farm, where Seal of Questionable Loyalties, while I can farm it, would be the better option probably of these two. So we're actually going to probably just go with Seal, because I think rings and secondary stats are way more impactful than a trinket that I can A, farm, B, just get better trinkets elsewhere from either the raid or other Mythic Plus keys. So we're going to go with Seal. I think that actually covers DH. That's pretty good. We'll get this enchanted, and then eventually, I mean, we'll eventually probably replace it, but if not, I can always socket it later on, later down the road as well. And yeah, I'm pretty actually hyped about that, because that'll bring my haste value, just by itself without enchants, that'll bring my haste value all the way up to 27%, up from 26%, so a little bit. To be fair, the Jeweled Signet of Melandris actually had a good bit of haste on it. If anything, I could replace Seal of Druid as chosen. I only have it at 408. Still does a good bit of damage. Like, the proc actually isn't too bad, especially with things like Immo Aura, but I will figure that out later. Next, we have the Druid. All right. What is going on with these animations? There we go. Druid got pretty lucky the last couple weeks. I have been doing stuff on the side with the Druid. I have the raid weapon. I also have the class trinket. I also have one piece of tier. I don't know what my plans are for this character. I do want to try to get it geared up. I miss playing Druid. I'm going to be working on it a little bit more this season, especially with the fall of Brewmaster. So just kind of keeping an eye out for that. Trying to gear this up slowly but surely. I plan on doing a bear video in a couple, probably like a week or so. Once I get 4 set, I'm going to transfer everything over to PTR and play around with those changes. But for the meantime, let's just double check our loot spec. We're in Guardian, and we're going to open this up. I would like to see like Treemouse Festering Splinter, for example, or Harlan's Loaded Dice, both obtainable in whatchamacallit, tank spec. Okay. We can ignore most of the raid loots. The helm actually isn't too bad of an option, since this would get us 2 set, and then hitting 2 KIO would get us 3 sets, and then hopefully I can get 1 piece from raid. If not, I can catalyst in a few weeks. Omnis Chromatic Essence is actually a really, really strong trinket for the class in general, but we're gonna jump back over to Blood Mallet and Subcreation to kind of see what people are running. I've heard good things about Heart of Thunder as well, and of course a high haste mastery neck also isn't the worst option either. So we have actually a lot of really strong options here. Let's try to figure it out and work through this. So first things first, I want to go to Blood Mallet, and I want to figure out, is this a trinket that I would probably maybe run? Now, if you could see here, the Ominous Chromatic Essence is actually pretty low for your tank spec. But if we come over here and we change this to something like Feral Druid, you're probably going to see a little bit of a different representation. You're going to see this trinket being a much, much, much higher. So if I ever plan on playing an off spec, it might not be the worst thing in the world to actually pick this up. But again, it's farmable from the raid. And it's not, is it a very rare item? I don't think it's very rare. Hold on. I thought it was just like a regular drop. But to be fair, I'd be competing against DPS and whatnot. Yeah, it's not very rare. So let's open this back up. Okay, so getting 2 set would be pretty important, but I don't know if I would run 2 set over my old 4 set. So I don't think I would reuse this right away, but it is here as an option. Next, we have Heart of Thunder. Heart of Thunder in... Let's actually change this to Patchwork like 5 targets, because I mostly do Mythic Plus. You're going to see again, oh, there's that Chromatic Essence actually being really high. Same with Call to Suffering, Harlan's Loaded Dice, also a strong option. Where would Heart of Thunder even be in here? We're looking for like a little lightning bolt icon. So I don't feel like reading all the names. I don't even see it in here. Okay. So let's... Oh, I'm looking at Feral Guardian. Maybe they just don't sim the trinket at all. I don't see it. It would actually be like below Drogbar Stones. Yeah, I'm not sure how good this trinket is. I could always just run a sim, but we're going to jump over to see if anyone's using it on Subcreation. Jump down to tanks here. We'll go Guardian Druid this time. We'll click on trinkets. Isn't it at the top? Yeah, it's like here. I don't see any Heart of Thunders being ran, though. I'm not sure. I am not sure. You'll see here like things like Treemouth, thing like Harlan's Loaded Dice. No Essence, though. Versus an okay stat. Like, you would be losing a little bit of main stat, but I don't know what the proc would be like. I'm kind of torn. I don't think I choose Cloak. One, it's a little bit low. My current Cloak still has Leech on it. I'd probably be chasing something that's like Haste Verse or Haste Mastery. We'll see. Neck also could be a good pickup, but I can always craft a Neck and put sockets in it like right away. So I don't think I'll be choosing a Neck. So basically my argument right now is between Trinkets or Tier. One last thing I want to pull up. I just did this the other day. So for those who missed it, I actually did this like whole wish list thing that I ended up, I'm actually going back through and making sure I get everything figured out and proper. But this is my kind of BIS or like goal list, checkmark list, wish list, whatever you want to call it, for items that I'll be playing with as Guardian Druid. So for example, I haven't crafted anything yet, but I'm probably going to craft maybe slimy explosion boots, and then I'll probably craft lifebound gloves, but I can always craft a neck piece if I want, though the ionized choker from Vortex Pinnacle seems to be also a very strong choice. And you can see that through the Guardian Druid sub-creation kind of breakdown here. If we go to neck, you can see that the ionized choker is being ran all the way up to 25 keys. And then you're seeing, of course, Brewmaster's disentombed lockets with Lariat still. So there's some decent necks here, but again, I can always farm one and boost it to 441, or I can craft one. So I think in terms of like pure power, at least at this stage, I probably go Tier Helm. The last thing I want to check is where does the Helm come from, because we're probably killing that boss tonight. So we'll see. So if I open up this, I think the Helm comes from, so that's Shoulder. Is it Magmarax that drops Helm? We won't be killing Magmarax tonight. So the Helm actually wouldn't be the worst play in the world. It's one of the 4 items I want to take. But again, the essence is here, and it's a flat stat stick. And then you gain additional secondary stat for people in your raid. So like, or in your group, I guess. So I guess it depends on if you have it. So I honestly, I think I'm going to go Helm here. But on the other hand, Creation Catalyst will open up soon. I could still get 4 set tonight from their raid. I honestly have no idea. I don't know what to take here. I think oh man, I might sit on this vault too. I might just sit on it. I know my raid team would be happy if I took Chromatic Essence, but I think selfishly I kind of want to take Tier, but at the same time, like I could get lucky in raid tonight. You know what? I think I'm going to hold on to it. I think I'm going to hold on to this this vault for a bit. Assume I picked Tier though. All right, so now we have 2 set bonus. Just assume that I picked it. I hope none of my guildies watch this and know that I'm holding on to that. All right, Brat Warrior, or I guess Warrior in general. So anyone who stopped by my stream this week knows that I've been playing a lot of arms, but I've also played a good bit of Prot as well. So, man, Warrior's in such like a weird spot right now, though. I don't know if I'll actually end up playing Prot all that much this year, but I really have been enjoying arms, and Fury Warrior looks pretty fun as well once I can get like a decent second weapon. So for the meantime, we're going to open this as Prot, assuming that we'll play it, maybe hoping for some compensation buffs. It just feels so weak right now. Its damage is really low, though to be fair, it doesn't take like any damage. It just has like a lackluster toolkit. They had their time at the start of season 1. For now, they're kind of just chilling. Ooh, okay. 337 tier. This would be like pretty solid upgrade, I think, as well. Cloak, which I'll probably end up crafting with kind of mess stats, and then a chest that has high haste verse, but I currently am wearing my 4 set, which I probably wouldn't replace. So I think I just go Helm here just to save that 1 extra Zenith token from my raid team. The chest guard is haste first, but again, it's farmable, and it's going to probably be, I don't know what piece I run. I haven't actually double checked which stats I would like. So I think I just go Helm here. You know what? I kind of want to check this. I know there's an easier way to test this, but, or check this, but I'm going to just fly to the vendor and peep what the stats are for tank. The Helm, I think, would be one of the weakest since it's high crit haste, but it has haste on it, which is a very valuable stat for the, look at all the dragons flying in. That's so fucking cool. Dude, this game has never felt like so good. I can't stress how insane WoW feels right now. Like this is the stuff that makes me so happy. Like watching, you know, 5 other people, actually way more than that, but like just a bunch of people just swarm into the caverns on reset day. Coming down here to like, I don't know what people do down here, to be honest. There's like a lot of world quests and stuff, but. So for those who don't know, for some reason, once you get like your Omni tokens or tier tokens, this is where you'll come. you come to this little obsidian rest, which is on the north side of Zarelak Caverns, right outside the raid entrance. It's a flight point as well. You come right in here, and this is where you can buy tier. And you buy tier with those Draconic Mark of Masteries, or you'll buy it using the Void Touched Curio from Sarkarath, the last boss, whenever it drops. For my guild personally, we actually use this as group loot, and we then hand it out to certain players, but now that everyone has tier, that probably won't be the case anymore. But I kind of wanted to look through, so we'll for sure be running gloves, high haste, low verse. Chest piece as well, we'll probably want low haste, high verse, high crit, low verse on the pants, and then of course haste mastery on the shoulder. So we probably would not want pants this season. At least that would be my guess. Maybe it's not worth running the helm for some reason, or not worth running maybe the mastery shoulders, but I think in this case I would probably just drop the pants. So I think I'm safe to take the helmet from my vault, and then that allows me to farm other gear from either the raid or like once the catalyst comes around. So we'll be doing that. We're gonna hearth back. That was such a fucking long travel just to figure out that one. I could have honestly just googled that. Whatever. All right, helmet is. That chest is so attractive though, but I can't even wear it yet, so I think I just take the helm because I can wear it. And it gets me that cool fucking... Dude, where's the coolest transmog this season? Like, their set bonus is just so rad. Like, look at this. This is so sick. Their mythic version's kind of cool. I like the white and black. Even the raid finder is pretty rad. Anyways, that is the warrior. We are feeling pretty juiced. All right. I'm going to just say this now. I think this vault's going to be kind of a waste. When your character's like 439, like I'm 437 equipped because I have a couple of higher items in my bags. This vault is just, I have doubts, I should say, is like the chance of it being a piece that you can actually utilize at this item level is very, very small, because there's certain weapon effects that are really, really strong. For example, like the Forge Storm weapon effect. You have things like Mark of Dargrul that you probably wouldn't replace. Tanks, at least for damage wise, like still running Seal of Druid Chosen and Onyx Amulet seem to still be the play. Seal of Druid Chosen still making up a good portion of my damage, and the Onyx Amulet does a stupid amount. Let's see, this Underrot overall. Onyx Amulet still putting in a ton of work. You could maybe justify dropping the Seal of Druid Chosen, but with really good ideal stats with high verse, low crits, probably not going to replace it. I think we're going to double check Brewmaster. Now, I would love to see Talisman of the Crag Shaper. I'd love to see maybe a Shard of Rock more if that drops, and I'd be happy with that too. 447 tier is probably what we'll end up taking. Yeah, I don't know. Like, basically, we're looking for item level at this point with also ideal stats, because if I don't do that, I'm just going to use ideal stats on a slightly lower items, or I'm going to craft 447 in the near future. So, not super great, but that's all right. We're going to generate this loot for Brewmaster and see what we get. All right. No fucking shot, dude. No shot. I just pulled a beacon. No fucking shot. That's awesome. That's amazing. We are probably going to take the beacon, but I want to see what these pants offer. It's crit verse. I do run pants though currently, so... And the pants have high crit on them, so it's not like the biggest thing. Sentinel's Battle Lance. This would be good if you don't have weapons already, but Forge Storm and Kroktos just too strong. Plus, the single wield game compared to the dual wield game is just not as strong either, because you're missing out on enchants. And the 447 Helm would be great because it's crit mastery, but I'm currently wearing a Lifebound cap because of my vault. I think 2 weeks ago, I pulled a 447 chest piece. So if I didn't get beacon, I would probably take the helm and then craft a chest. But because I already have a 447 helm, I already have my tier sets. While this would be a better upgrade, I can always choose, hopefully I get a helm later down the road, and I can always use Creation Catalyst. So it doesn't even have to be this helm. So I could see like just a regular helm with tertiary stats on it, a socket, whatever it might be. So I'm going to bank on the fact that I might see this again, where I probably won't continue raiding on my monk going forward anymore for a few reasons. One, I don't really need tier or don't need loot from it, and I plan on gearing other tanks as well. So I think we go beacon. Really quick, just in case you guys don't know, if you look at A lot of these tank breakdowns, you'll see Beacon to the Beyond being ran. But if you look at Blood Mallet specifically, let's just go to Brewmaster Monk just to kind of show you guys what I might be talking about. If we look at our casting Patchwork 5 targets, you're going to see Beacon to the Beyond at 450 being insanely high, but you're seeing that 441, which I'll be able to upgrade it to, is going to be one of our highest trinkets, maybe outside of the Homeland Raid Horn, and that's 5 targets. Now, if we look at single target, you're going to see that Beacon to the Beyond trumps almost every other trinket when it comes to single target by multiple percent. So Beacon to the Beyond just makes sense. It makes sense for Tyrannical weeks, it makes sense for Fortified weeks, and it makes sense for raiding. So I don't think there's a world where I don't run that trinket. Let's just double check here just on Subcreation, see what people are running for Brewmaster. There have been a variety of trinkets, both defensive and defensive. You're seeing, again, Shard of Rockmora and Treemass Festering Splinter, both defensive trinkets, but you're also seeing a ton of runs with Beacon in it as well. You're seeing a couple of Mark of Dargirl and some old trinkets like Whetstone. Whetstone's pretty valuable still. But yeah, we're going to run Beacon for damage. I think that's the play. Am I going to regret this? No fucking shot, right? All right. There we go. Beacon to the Beyond. This trinket used to be better. For those who don't know or didn't watch my video, maybe I'll like leave it somewhere on screen. Brewmaster was nerfed recently. They changed Weapons of Order, or they hotfixed it to no longer scale things like embellishments, things like trinkets, things like weapons. So none of that stuff is going to be amplified by our Weapons of Order anymore. So Beacon got a pretty massive hit, but Beacon still is very, very valuable because it does a ton of damage, especially in AoE, and because Brewmasters are very crit centralized, the chance of it critting basically does double its damage, obviously, in just one cast. So you're effectively getting possibly more uses. So you're gonna kind of high roll it, but for damage, this thing is gonna be so sick, and I can't wait to try it tonight in raid. What it looks like here, I'll show you guys in a second. Let me just put that on my bar. And I think I'm going to upgrade it as well. I don't know if I can actually upgrade it without... Oh, it's going to cost me an aspect crest. It's fine. And now lastly, in terms of embellishments, or not embellishments, but crafted items, I can craft another piece this week. I've been debating between upgrading my belt to 447 and just... I think it'll have a socket. No, it won't have a socket on it. Basically making a better belt that's crit verse, or upgrading my needlessly complex wrist wraps or wrist guards for engineering so I can battle res. I might upgrade these to 447 as well, and they're going to be flat verse. I might change these to crit. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. So that's my plan for my third crafted piece. First time I made it, I made explosion boots. Second time I made it, I did the patch on the helm, though I recommend doing chest if you had that option instead. And then this week, you can craft a weapon if you have been unlucky, but Forge Storm and Bilestain Krogtusk are both fine. And of course, if you want a battle res, or if you just want to upgrade a piece that might not have ideal stats, all great options. But again, this Beacon from Beyond is pretty insane. So right here, we're just going to cast it. It's going to hit for a whopping 1 mil opener, 1.4 mil, a crit twice, hit just 3 regular times, and it also proc corrosive slime. So 1.4 mil damage on a 1.5 second cast, great to open with, really good boss damage, can delete some ads, some certain phases. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the vaults. Good luck in your vaults. Nothing to really do this week. Creation Catalyst opens next week, I think. So next week or two. And then if you don't have tier, you'll have it soon. So best of luck in your vaults, and I will catch you guys all very soon. Peace.